All right, BradCooney.com, in association with HCN Networks, is absolutely honored to have on board Hollywood film star, and you're one of those that got a lot of titles. So author, playwright, contributing writer, professor, producer, and director, Miss Kathryn Smith McGlynn. Thank you so much for joining us.
Absolutely. Sounds like you got them all.
I was hoping so. You got one of those big old laundry lists of titles, which is a great thing. It means you have a great work ethic, and you really enjoy your career.
Absolutely, I do. You got to be creative. You got to create in this business. You can't just sit back and wait for the phone to ring.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's get right into this. First and foremost, I recently went to the movies and saw Maze Runner 2, The Scorch Trials, which is the sequel, of course, to the first Maze Runner. I was blown away. Normally, sequels are tough to meet to rise to the expectations of the first one. This one surpassed it, I thought. And of course, you played Dr. Crawford in the movie. Talk about that. Talk about the experience playing in the movie Maze Runner 2.
Dr. Crawford, wicked is good.
Yeah.
Working on Maze Runner was an awesome experience. It was my first foray into this particular genre, which is, I guess they call it young action movies, action movies, I think. And it was a blast, but I have to say it was physically trying, on me, because I was doing a lot of running. There's one scene in the film where Dylan's character Thomas and his gang, all the gladers, they're escaping, and they're taking me down this hallway, and we're running away from this gunfire. And we shot it in the middle of the night, and I was wearing like these 3-inch heels and a boots. And the first couple of, I was a track runner in high school, thought, I got this. The first couple of runs, first couple of takes, I was like, yeah, I got this. And then the third one, and then the fourth one.
Oh, man.
And by the fifth one, my heart was like coming out of my chest.
Oh, man. Yeah, I can imagine. How many takes How many takes was it?
That particular scene, probably we did maybe about 10 takes on it, because there was a lot of stunt work happening there. And so, with those kind of scenes, you got to make sure everyone's safe on the set. So you have to really make sure that everybody's on point with that. But it was fun. We filmed the movie out in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And great city to work in. And it was just a blast working with everybody on the set, working with the director, Wes Hall.
Yeah, that was my next question.
Wes.
Right.
He's a man.
Yeah, he is. He's good.
He's really great. He's got his vision, and he's so calm about it, too. No matter what kind of scene we were doing, if someone was hyped up or what have you, Wes was just like a sea of calm.
Yeah.
On the eye of the storm.
I'm guessing that's important for an actor, too, to have somebody that can keep everybody grounded, because it's, like you said, there's some high pressure scenes in that movie, and that one you're talking about where the gang's trying to break out. They just figured out that things weren't quite exactly what appeared, so they needed to get out of there, and so they grab you, pretty much kidnap you, and it just was an intense scene. One of many intense scenes in that movie.
And Wes he has such a command of his craft. And as a director, you're there to really bring everyone together, and not only the cast, but the crew, and just, everyone. And he just did an amazing job with that. It was wonderful working with him.
How did you end up getting the role? Were you approached, or did you audition for it? How did that all go down?
Yeah, I auditioned for it.
Cool. Yep.
Got the call and auditioned for it, and with a lot of these big movies, you have to be very discreet about what you're doing.
Sure.
And so throughout the process, just doing my job, and got a call back, and and then just I think a few weeks passed, and I was just on to the next because, as an actor, you're about the work, and so you can't sit back and worry about one audition or two auditions. You just got to go through and, do your job. And so I just got this phone call from my agent, and she was like, "Oh, you got to be in New Mexico on the set in 2 days." And I said, "What?"
Wow.
Yeah, so it was awesome. It was really great.
So it looks like, obviously, the book series, there's 3, and I read somewhere that the 3rd Maze Runner is targeted for February 2017. Well, is there any chance?
17, yeah.
Any chance we'll get to see you?
Hey, you didn't see my guts all over the screen.
That's right. You're not dead.
Not dead.
That's a great.
So, and Dr. Crawford, she's a spitfire. So,
Yeah.
Wes was he was very particular about that. Even when they were tying me up, he was like, you're badass. You're just like, you just got to get away with this.
Yeah.
So to the end, bullets flying everywhere. I was just like,
yeah.
So I'm glad I'm a survivor. So, you just might see Dr. Crawford again because they're on their way back,
Yeah, that's right. And, one of the things that I really got the most out of your part was, you're I'm not sure how tall you are, but you look tall in the movie, and you came across as a very confident, like, overpowering, confident, like, go-getter kind of doctor.
Well, how tall do you think I am?
It's tough to see. I'll take a guess. I'll answer it this way. The movie, you looked about 5'11", 6 foot.
Oh, wow.
You just look tall.
I am 5'8".
Okay, so I missed it by a few inches.
I'm 5'8". Yeah, and I do come across, it's interesting. They tell you, the camera, you gain 5 pounds, you look bigger, and the camera don't lie. It magnifies you, actually. I think it was Ryan Reynolds once said that he was quoted as saying, a lot of actors, he's like, Hollywood is full of these little gnomes, smaller stature people because they look really great on screen, and there's this little box that you have to fit up. I'm one of the tall ones, I guess.
Yep. Now, and again, the first one was really good. I took my 2 goddaughters to go see it, and they're both from Vietnam, so they were excited. What's his name? Ki Hung Lee? Is that his? Yeah.
Oh yes.
So and both of them have a crush on him, by the way, and like a lot of other young ladies in this country. And but anyway, that being said, it was a really good movie. We were just pleasantly surprised how good it was. So I guess my question to you is: was there any emphasis from the director, kind of reminding actors that, look, this is a sequel, and it's it's one of those deals where we really need to strive to make this even better than the first one?
You know what? Not in terms of, okay, this set a certain bar, so we've got to top that, because I think, when you're looking at different productions, you're going to do your best anyway. You know what I mean?
Sure. That's
just unspoken. So, you're expecting that each one you're going to improve on the previous, So this isn't any type of, dictate that, we really got to do this. We got to make it work. We got to make it happen.
Yeah.
It was, I mean, it's Wes Ball, so it was going to happen.
Yeah.
So, he just is who he is. So, his vision is just, I don't know how he does it, but he does.
Yep. He's got that it factor. He's just good at it.
Yeah.
The film is still doing well in theaters across America. I also read it's doing really, really well overseas, too. It's getting some really nice numbers overseas.
Yeah. In Asia, it's really doing well. And I think it recently opened over in Spain and in Europe. So I think they did a release. It actually released overseas before it released domestically.
So how many nice spin-off opportunities have popped up for you since being here in this movie?
Oh gosh, I'm actually in the process now of going on the other side of the cameras. I'm producing content,
right,
and going to be creating another vehicle for myself. So stay tuned.
Okay.
and I'm going out on my calls and everything, and we'll see. We've got some things down the pipeline, but I can't really talk about it.
Oh man, we have to come back and break that on our show.
Yeah, I mean, we have to, because of the internet and social media and everything, they want to try to keep it under wraps for as long as possible. So, but check back with me and I'll give you an update.
Absolutely. I know you're really busy, so I'll let you go in just a few minutes. I read also in your bio that you, while you were in grad school, you went over to Russia and you did some learning over there. Can you talk about that?
Я говорю по-русски.
Oh, wow.
Очень хорошо. Yeah, as part of a program, I went to Carnegie Mellon University, and a cohort of grad students and I went over there to live and learned Russian and spoke and learned the culture and was just immersed in Russian culture. And I don't know if you're familiar with some of the literary greats over there, but I think one of the most popular literary greats was Anton Chekhov.
Yeah, absolutely. I've heard him, yeah.
And it was an amazing experience. It really, really was. Really got a chance to actually work on the stage that Chekhov and Stanislavski worked together on at Mahat.
Oh, wow.
Moscow Arts Theater. And that was so surreal. I was like on the stage, and you're like, oh my gosh, the original Seagull was produced here.
Wow.
And it was really kind of a turning point in my life because I was trying to figure out what I was going to do, if I was going to either go into theater or what my course was going to be. And Russian theater, there's something called laughter through tears,
Mm-hmm.
And seeing the theater there and being a part of the theater there, it just really helped me to increase my love of theater, my passion for the craft of acting, and just, had me to step it up a notch. So I wouldn't trade it for anything. It was a great experience.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned that you're about to go behind the cameras. Do you feel that's your calling, or do you feel the other side of the cameras your calling, or just all the above? Is this, you just want to just round it all out?
Well, you know what? I have to say kind of all of the above, because, if you even look at Matt Damon,
right?
And Ben Affleck, screenwriters, directors, actors, and doing well at each.
Yeah, Good Will Hunting. Did you see The Martian yet?
No, I haven't seen it, but it's a really great thing.
Oh, man.
Check it out.
You got to go see it, tomorrow.
You got to go see it?
Yeah.
Is it kind of like Gravity, sort of?
No, you know why it's not? Look, there's no knock at Gravity, because I'm a big science fiction. Gravity was kind of, if you will, Hollywooded out, if you know what I mean. It kind of there was things that were just unrealistic. They're really good for movie stuff, but not really realistic. The Martian was so accurate. In other words, things that NASA would be challenged in real life to get a stranded astronaut back, they kept it true to that, which made it really intense. And the Val Kilmer movie, the Mars movie he did, they took the helmet off on the surface of Mars and they were able to breathe. That's just not happening in real life, because it's 50 below zero on Mars with no air. And in The Martian, the director kept true to that. You know what I mean? Everything was real, and it was just brilliant. And Matt Damon was just awesome in that movie. Yeah, you need to go see it.
All right, I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, definitely. I didn't mean to go off on a little Martian rant there, but yeah.
No, it's fine. Yeah, but no, I was going to be creating a project coming up, and I think as an actor, you're also a creator, because when you go on set, you're just not there to kind of be pulled around as a puppet. A great director wants to know your thoughts too, and he or she wants you to bring what you have to the table. So in a sense, you really are creating, and get a little playwriting, a little writing in there too. You're improvising lines, you're doing this, you're doing that.
Right.
It's all related. It really is. It all supports one another.
And while you're pursuing the behind the cameras work, will you still be fielding opportunities to act in, on the other side in movies and things?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's nonstop.
Yeah, good stuff. before I let you go, I had some people on my Facebook and Twitter that wanted me to ask you this, because I do have quite a few aspiring actors and actresses, and a lot of them had the same common denominator type question. They wanted me to ask you for some advice, because one in particular girl I know, she's gotten some smaller roles, a few commercials, but she hasn't really gotten that nice break yet. And she really works hard too. I mean, she's busting it. She waits tables. She's, I'm sure you can relate to that, going back to the days where you were chasing that stuff down. And that's where she's at. And she wanted me to ask, and a few others, what's some advice you can give someone like her to try to break through it? It's such tough competition.
Yeah, it's tough competition, and it's only going to get tougher, And first and foremost, keep doing what you're doing in terms of, busting your butt.
Right.
Because, sometimes it's survival of the fittest, because you're going to have a lot of people, that aren't going to believe in themselves and in their talent, so they're just going to drop out. So first of all, you've got to believe in your own talent first and foremost, and keep fighting the good fight. But also, the business, I've been in the business for a while, and it's changed. It's really changed in terms of, look at all that content that's out there. You look on the internet, you look at HBO, Netflix, Hulu, all these services, Amazon, everybody's, creating content. So, my advice would be, don't just sit back. I mean, yes, work on your craft as an actor, work on your craft. But if you really want to have longevity, then what you need to do is create your own projects. You got to create your own stuff. Even if you, do a little, you got something on Vine, or you've got something on YouTube, you got your audiences, they're big voice fans, right?
Yeah.
You look at what I think it was a couple of seasons ago, what was her name? Grimke? She was on Adam's team.
Oh, yeah. I know exactly. Yep.
Yeah, she was on YouTube. She's a YouTube sensation. And so, you've got to get out there and not just sit back and wait for the phone to ring. You need to bring something else to the table as part of the team. So if you're just sitting back waiting for someone to hire you to do something for them, you're going to be waiting for a long time. So you really need to go out there, produce your own stuff, do a showcase, produce your own show, your play, rent out a space in your city or your community, wherever you are. Write something, write yourself a role, perform whenever you can. Practice, and in that way you also improve on your craft if you're continuously out there practicing. Because one of the things that can hinder an actor is if you are waiting for that call and you're not working. If you're not working, then you're not working on your craft.
True.
And working on your craft on a stage is a lot different than being in a classroom doing a scene study. I mean, yes, you're going to learn that way, but there's nothing like performance. In front of an audience, you fall on your face, and that's how you learn. So that would be my biggest advice.
Really good advice. Really good advice. One last little tidbit, and I'll let you go. I guess it's about 2006. I was on a plane from Houston to L.A., and when we landed I left Jackson, Mississippi, and stopped in Houston on a connector flight, and we took on some new passengers. And this young African-American kid, about, he was probably 19 or 20, sat right next to me, and we got talking, and he said he was part of a comedy group called Derrick Comedy, and he was an NYU student, and he was going out to L.A. to pitch a screenplay or something he had written, and that kid turned out to be Donald Glover. Do you know who he is?
Donald Glover. Now, is that Savion Glover?
He was in The Martian as an astrophysicist, and he played in the Lazarus Effect. He's like, he was in what was that? He was in a TV series too. I'm trying to remember. If you
name does definitely ring ring a bell.
Yeah. He's if you Google image search him, you'll know exactly who he is as soon as you see him. He was in The Martian too. It was so nice to see him. I didn't see him after the little small talk on the plane, I wished him luck. And then fast forward like 10 years, and I was in the movie theater, and I was like, I recognize that kid. And while the movie's playing, I image searched, and I remember Derek comedy. So I imaged that, and I was like, that's him. Holy moly. That's awesome. That was just great. It was a great little, this was good to see hard work pay off.
Absolutely. Good.
All right.
Kept up the fight.
Yeah, exactly. But look, I really, really appreciate you joining us on BradCooney.com. It was such a privilege to talk to you. I want to keep in touch with you and get you back on when you get your projects up and going. Would that be okay?
Absolutely.
All right. Before I let you go, share with the fans where they can follow you on your social networks or any closing thoughts.
Oh, yes. Well, you can always stop by my website at www.KathrynSmithMcGlynn.com. And I'm also on Twitter. My handle is Kathryn Smith McG, only because I couldn't stick my whole name on there. But you can find me on there. And I'm always on there, so come, if you want to talk to me, just inbox me, send me a message, and we can get a conversation going.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us.